Warning: the 911 call may be distressing to some viewers. Proceed with caution.
911.
Yes, I'm on Northwest Avenue. Homicidal died, and he shot my little cousin right now.
Hi.
Please come immediately.
Who's in your house?
Immediately.
Ma'am, is the guy in your house right now?
We're having 2 houses down on the cookie side.
Okay. Ma'am, hold on. Is he at your house?
Yes, he's downstairs shooting.
What do you think his name is, Bruce?
His name is Bruce Pardo.
I know, ma'am. Just stay on the phone with me, okay?
My whole family, there's 30 people, 25 people.
I know. It's okay. The officers are there. They're trying to get to you guys, okay?
December 24, 2008, in Covina, California, a quiet low-crime community. At a house belonging to Alicia and Joseph Ortega, who had invited their 5 adult children and their families for a small Christmas Eve party of around 25 people to celebrate Christmas Eve together. The night was filled with celebration and joy. However, the hell that was approaching would ensure this was their last Christmas Eve together. And at 11:30 p.m., Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, dressed in a Santa Claus suit, knocked on the door of his former in-laws' house, holding a gift-wrapped package containing a rolled air compressor converted to deliver gasoline from it and at least 4 9mm semi-automatic handguns. Knocking on the door, an excited 8-year-old girl, Katrina Józef-Polski, opened the door greeting what she thought to be Santa Claus, who was there with presents, was in fact a man she used to call uncle. Greeting her with a gun, he immediately fired at her face, shooting the 8-year-old girl, injuring her. Katrina was the daughter of Letitia Józef-Polski, a sister of his ex-wife Sylvia Pardo. He then proceeded to fire indiscriminately at fleeing partygoers. However, police speculate that Pardo may have stood over and pointedly executed some of the victims, using the other handguns. After the shooting, Pardo unwrapped the package containing the compressor, and used it to spray gasoline to set the home ablaze. 9 people died that night from either gunfire or flames, one being a 17-year-old boy who lost his life in the fire, and 3 others were wounded. Katrina, who despite being shot in the face lived with severe but non-life-threatening injuries. A 16-year-old girl who was shot and wounded in the back but managed to escape the fire, and a 20-year-old woman who suffered a broken ankle when she jumped out the second-floor window to escape. One of the survivors had run to a neighbor's house and called authorities during the attack, which most likely prevented further deaths from the fire. The fire soared approximately 40 to 50 feet and took 80 firefighters an hour and a half to extinguish. Due to the intensity of the fire, identification of the victims was done with dental and medical records. At least 3 of the victims' deaths were caused by the gunshot wounds alone, while the 4 others died from a combination of both gunshot wounds and the fire. 2 other deaths stemmed from the fire alone. At least 13 children were orphaned that night, and 2 others lost one parent. The victims who died were Sylvia Ortega Pardo, who was 43 and Pardo's ex-wife. She was the main target. Alicia Ortega, 70, was Sylvia's mother. Joseph Ortega, 80, Sylvia's father. Charles Ortega, 49, Sylvia's brother. Sherry Ortega, 45, Charles' wife. James Ortega, 51, Sylvia's brother. Teresa Ortega, 52, James's wife. Alicia Ortiz, 46, Sylvia's sister, and Michael Ortiz, 17, Alicia's son. One officer said, "When I arrived, to describe it as apocalyptic would be accurate." After the attack, Pardo put on his street clothes and drove his Dodge Caliber rental to his brother's house in Sylmar, about 30 miles away from the crime scene, where he was later found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His brother was not at the house at the time of Pardo's death. He was at a Christmas Eve party, and when he arrived home he found his brother dead in a pool of his own blood. After calling the police, they began investigating Bruce's past, thinking he might have been murdered since they found his body with a 9mm on his lap, a 9mm on the floor and an additional bullet hole in the ceiling. Investigators discovered he had an ex-wife named Sylvia, whose divorce from Bruce was finalized on December 18, 2008, just a few days before the holiday. Police dug deeper into their divorce to find out if it had anything to do with Bruce's death, and they realized Sylvia's maiden name was Ortega, which meant she was one of the Ortega siblings who had been killed on Christmas Eve. And after performing autopsies on the bodies of the Ortega victims, they found all victims had been shot at least once with a 9mm handgun matching the one Bruce used. Alicia and Joseph Ortega's sole surviving child, and the only living sibling of Sylvia, Leticia, said that despite the Santa Claus costume, beard and hat, she could identify the shooter, her sister's ex-husband, Bruce Pardo. It was initially believed Pardo planned on fleeing to Canada. However, a further investigation found that his plane ticket was from Los Angeles to Moline, Illinois, with a layover in Minnesota. Pardo had also called days before the attack, his high school friend telling him he was planning to visit. However, investigators were unsure if he actually planned on the visit or if the flight was to fool investigators. However, his plans seemed to be ruined, due to his Santa suit melting during the flamethrower portion of the attack and had adhered to his skin, suffering from third-degree burns on his arms. It is said he decided to go against his plan and instead killed himself, taking a cowardly option out. However, this cowardly option might have been the best option for the victims who wouldn't have to be re-victimized by reliving and recounting the experience during court. Police found $17,000 in cash cling wrapped to his legs inside a girdle, presumed for his life on the run. His rental car was parked 1 block from his brother's house, had remnants of his Santa suit. However, while trying to recover it, a portion of it was accidentally set on fire and was destroyed, seemingly by a booby trap set up by Bruce. Also recovered from the scene were 4 13-round capacity handguns that were empty and at least 200 rounds of ammunition. At Pardo's house, police recovered 5 empty semi-automatic handguns, a shotgun and an octane fuel tank gasoline. They also found what was described as a virtual bomb factory in his home. Around the same time, a man reported a mysterious car parked in front of his Pasadena home. Police ran the plates and found the car had been rented by Bruce Pardo. Though the car wasn't rigged, it was packed with supplies including a computer, clothes, water, food and maps of the US and Mexico. Police believed Bruce had been planning on escaping to Mexico after his killing spree. Bruce's getaway car was also parked about 500 feet from the house of Scott Nord, Sylvia's divorce attorney. Police believe Bruce might have planned on also murdering Scott, who he also blamed for his divorce and having to pay spousal support. However, due to the unplanned horrific burns he sustained, he instead went to his brother's to kill himself. Police speculate the motive of the attack was related to marital problems. Pardo's wife of 1 year had finalized their divorce a week prior to the attack. He had been fired from his job as an electrical engineer at ITT Electronic Systems in July. There is some speculation that the divorce may have been caused by Pardo concealing a child from a previous relationship. This child was severely injured in a swimming pool accident several years prior. He did not support his child, nor did he pay any support to his ex-wife and her children. The couple wed in 2006 but soon grew apart after their marriage. When Pardo refused to open a joint account with Sylvia, he also expected his wife to take care of her own 3 children with her own finances. In June 2008, the divorce court had ordered Pardo to pay $1,785 a month in spousal support. During the divorce proceeding, Pardo had confided to a friend his wife was taking him to the cleaners. In July, Pardo was fired for billing false hours and the court suspended the support payments due to job hardship. Pardo was required to pay Sylvia $10,000 as part of the divorce settlement, according to court documents. A friend had said, "This divorce shattered Bruce Pardo. It became his obsession." And Bruce began to plot ways to get back at Sylvia. "I think that he decided that he wasn't just going to kill her, but he was going to kill everything that she loved and wipe it off the face of the earth." Katrina, the 8-year-old who was shot, was one of the survivors. Katrina is 20 and when she was 17 she had joined a growing number of teenagers who have survived gun violence and are demanding change to weapons laws. She and students across California and the U.S. joined for 17 minutes on Wednesday, each minute representing a victim of the February 14 shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. In an interview she said, "Being able to really fight for something that is truly, truly close to my heart is very different," she said. When she spoke about that night and her life after that night and its impact, she said, "I just knew I had to keep fighting and I knew that I would live my life to the fullest for each one of my family members and everybody affected by gun violence," she said. She hopes to help others fighting the same battle and credits her mother's faith with shaping her perspective. "Especially with Christmas time, it's been something of light now. It's something my family continues to celebrate instead of looking down upon," she said. "You're left here on this earth for a reason. You're left here for a purpose and your job is to keep fighting and to shine that light on everybody else that has been affected," Józef Polski said. Katrina's mother also spoke out about her experience and the aftermath and the legacy she hopes to leave behind. Letitia managed to escape the chaos and called 911 from a neighbor's home. But many of her family members were killed. Between the shooting and the fire, Letitia lost her mother, her father, 2 sisters, 2 brothers, 2 sisters-in-law and a nephew. Her daughter survived. It was an event so horrific that it could send someone into a lifetime of despair, but as Letitia tells Oprah, "Where are they now?" Extra, she chose not to follow a path of anger and hate. "I can't do anything to change what happened. I can only focus on the future," Letitia says. "I can only focus on what's being brought to me, and the good things that are brought to me. I appreciate that." Her appreciation, she continues, has become the foundation for her healing. "That's what I think has helped me have more peace, really having the gratitude for the love that has been brought to our family from people we didn't even know," she says. In addition to practicing gratitude, Letitia says she also stopped dwelling on the past and the man that robbed her of her family. "This is what he's done. Enough. I'm not going to allow you to continue to consume us with your evilness," she says. "You don't want that anger to live within you day to day and grow, just like it did with this monster." In the wake of mass shootings like that in Orlando, Letitia encourages those affected to move forward as she has, with love. "Love is the most powerful energy. It is so strong, and when people come together with a lot of love, you can't really break that," she says. The mother of 2 believes it's also imperative to foster love not just for the healing effect, but to teach our children a better way to exist in the world. "Our kids are our future, and we have to be the example for them," she says. "If we teach them that it's okay to hate and it's okay to be violent, and it's okay to put people down and make people feel less than, then what hope do we have?"